Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's episode. Take two. The first one I did was a little bit longer than I wanted it to be. So I'm trying to cut these down a little bit. 30 minutes is too long. But good news. What you're looking at here is my live real money trading account. I finally got the microphone to work on here, so maybe tomorrow I can do a live real money trade on the video for you to see. Naturally, you're not going to see it in real time because I have to post it, but it's going to look the same as the paper trades I've done live on here. I did a trade this morning. Wasn't quite as confident as I was yesterday. Yesterday we had all three time frames. I used the 3, the 5, and the 10-minute chart. All three, the stochastics were down and curling up at the open. So I was a little bit more confident yesterday. Plus, we had a really nice closing candle Friday. So I was pretty confident we'd be green yesterday. Today, I wasn't as confident. You see yesterday's candle. Yesterday's candle's long, big candle. And oftentimes you get a big candle like this, the next day you'll get a little bit of a pullback. But I was a little bit worried about it, but you see we gapped up, and when there's a gap here, there's a little bit of support. So that's kind of what I was looking at. And you see these purple lines here, I have actually a gap fill. There's a gap between these candles. So I put purple lines here. It says gap fill with bottom low price of this and the high price of this to fill that gap. Now if we don't come down and close this gap here today, then I'll move these up to here tomorrow. I keep it set on the nearest one. They usually offer pretty good support or slash resistance if you're looking the other direction. So today, I entered calls at 9:35, shortly after this candle. The main reason why was because we had a 100 simple moving average here, and I was fairly confident we'd go green today. Not as confident as yesterday. You see the stochastics were already pretty high on the 5-minute chart when we opened. Same with the 10-minute chart, we were already pretty high. We come over here to the 3-minute chart, and we were pretty low here. So I was looking for just a quick pop-up. I figured we'd get a quick pop-up and then a little pullback, just because the longer time frames were already in the overbought territory or close to it. We did get a little bit of a pullback after this, but it still ended up being, you would have been okay if you would have held all the way to here. And you see we hit 280, and that was it. We couldn't break over that today, at least not yet. So here's my entry. I entered at 9:35. I bought 3 March 15th 279 calls. The reason I went with 279s is because it's closer expiration, and I want to be a little bit closer to in the money. Otherwise, I think the 280 calls were trading at about 80 cents. It's a little bit too volatile for me. We still had some volume on the 279s, and we were trading right at 279. So, I could have went 279s or 280s. I was, it was right on the borderline of being in the money or at the money. So I entered at 125. I sold the first one 3 minutes later at 135. Sold the second one not even a half a minute after that at $1.40. We actually hit $1.43, but because of yesterday, when I sold all of them and we ran all day, I decided to keep that last one, and my plan was to not let it go red on me. So you see, I sold it for break even on that last one. I stuck to my plan. I didn't let it go red. It did pull back to $1.19, and then it took off again. So, it sucked. I would have liked to have rode it all the way up to here, but I stuck to my plan. Let's take a look at my SPY calls chart and see what I look at here. You see, I entered it right here, 9:35, just about at the beginning of this candle. I got in at $1.25, so about here. I got out the first one at 9:38 for $1.35, so roughly halfway through this candle, it would have been right here, $1.35, and I got out of the second one at $1.40 at the same candle just a few seconds later. So I would have got out of the second one right about here, and I believe what happened was we pulled up to here and we started to pull back, and that's why I sold the second one. The third one, my plan was to hold it to either break even or see where we ended up going until I got some kind of reversal signal or some major resistance. I was actually looking to play the pivot point. We ended up pulling back to $1.19. I let it go at break even again at $1.25. Would have been nice if it would have held that $1.25 and I could have rode it up more, but like I said, I stuck to my plan. It is what it is. I was looking for a target at least to here for my third contract. You see my second contract I sold right about here on the 935 candle, so I sold it about here. So we had quite a bit of room to come up, and you know, would have been nice to sell it up about here, but again, I stuck to my plan. So you see, we don't have too much in the line of signals today. I would have liked to have seen this pull back to here. This is the 100 simple moving average line. If we would have pulled back closer to here and saw some long tails, I probably would have entered again, but it didn't happen. We didn't get close enough to that. There's really no reversal signals today. The only thing that we have here is a hammer candle on the 10-minute. Other than that, there's no other signals of any kind that I look for. 3-minute, there's nothing. And here's the patterns that I have that show up. Dark cloud cover, engulfing, Maribozu, piercing line, and I don't put a lot of faith in all of these. Morning star and shooting star, morning star and evening star I don't really focus on. They're a 3-candle pattern, and usually the way I play my trades, by the third candle I'm out anyway, so I don't really play these. I have them up here, but I don't. Same with the Abandoned Baby. Evening Star and Morning Star Doji, they're the same as the Evening Star and Morning Star, except for that middle candle is a Doji. And like I said, I'm usually out by then. The it's pronounced Hodami. I call it Harami, just because I can't. It's hard for me to say that word. The Harami is a 2-candle pattern, but usually requires a confirmation candle. However, if I play it off of the support or resistance, it's usually fairly accurate. A Harami pattern is for a bullish Harami, you'll have a larger red candle and a smaller green candle right after that, and that green candle has to be within the body of the red candle and no more than 25% of the size of the body of that candle. And if you click on these, you'll see a little illustration of what it is. Yeah, see, it'll explain it to you. But generally, if you I don't see where it explains it here, but I've been told 25% of the body to be an actual Harami pattern. Separate lines I don't really focus on. The 3-line strike, I do like that one. That's basically an engulfing candle that engulfs at least 3 prior candles. That's right here. You can see an illustration of that. It'll engulf at least 3 previous candles. It's engulfing either bullish or bearish, either way, but it engulfs at least 3 previous candles. And that's a pretty strong signal, reversal signal. So I do like that one too. You don't see it too often. But you see, I don't have any of those on the 5-minute chart. None of those alerted anywhere. This is a Maribozu that pre-market. But that's it. There's nothing else that showed up. So we didn't really have much to go on after that initial entry, and this wasn't even, the only reason I entered this was because we were down close to this moving average line, the 100 simple moving average. Other than that, there wasn't too much to go off of. We came up here, got close to the pivot point, pulled back, but again, there was no reversal signal. It just came up close. You don't know what's going to happen. This one, we popped above it. If you're a breakout momentum trader, this would have been a good entry, but I don't I don't usually do too well with those. So I don't like buying high of the day for breakouts or low of the day for breakdowns. Yeah, not much to go off of today. So anyway, that's pretty much it for today. Trying to keep these videos a little bit shorter now. I know 30-minute, it's tough to, I don't like to sit and watch a 30-minute video. But yeah, not a lot to go off of today. If I see something else, maybe I'll jump in. I was watching Square today. I wanted an entry on that because I liked the candle yesterday. Look at the daily and see how we looked here after yesterday. You see we had a gap fill, or a gap here, so we had a little bit of cushion. I was wanting to pull back a little bit further down to get an entry. I ended up jumping into SPY, so I couldn't watch Square, so I missed this. Don't know that I would have entered this anyway, just because it kind of took off right away. But this was on my radar from pre-market. I took a look at it. I did put an order in right here to buy at 176. What I did like is we came down and held the pivot point. What I didn't like is we never got a reversal candle, reversal signal. That's why I wasn't quite as confident. I put an order in for $1.76. It went up to about $1.78. I canceled my order. It pulled back to like $1.73-ish, so I would have got filled, and then it took off. Looking back, yeah, I wish I would have got filled now, but I didn't, and it's okay. If this would have been engulfing or hammer or something, that would have changed my, I probably would have stayed around and tried to get in and not cancel my order so quick. But we really only had one signal showing, and it was a pivot point. This isn't a reversal candle. This isn't a reversal signal. If this candle would have opened a little bit lower, it would have been a bullish engulfing, but it wasn't. So it is what it is. Had a green day. Have a green day. Not by a lot, but it's by enough that it's green. So something else I explained on my paper trade account. We have the pivot points here. By default, the pivot points only show, let me move this one out of the way so you can see what it shows. By default, pivot point only shows a dashed line with no name, no price, nothing. So I create another line, and this is just a line you can put anywhere you want. See, our pivot was 279.63. I just go in here, 63. When I create these lines, I show the price on the left, show name on the left, write this down, the price level, and hit it. If I don't do this, these pivots do not show up on my phone, on my mobile app. With these here, it does show up on my phone. And I put the labels on the left because when I initially did it, I had them on the right, but it blocked the view of the candles. So I have them over here on the left. I don't delete these at the end of the day. These will stay on here. Tomorrow morning, I'll just move them. I'll just, whatever the level's at, edit properties, come down here, hit whatever price, hit OK, and it moves it to where I need it to go. I have them down for all 7 levels of the pivot points in my pivot, 3 support levels, 3 resistance levels. I do that every morning, and they stay there all day till the next morning. Yesterday's close is right here. Today's open is right here. Yesterday's high is right here. These are already set in by default thing here, the daily high low, daily open. They're already set. So this is how my chart looks. This is what I trade off of every morning, every day. I have a second monitor that has this up. It stays over here. I have another one for puts. This one's for calls. I have another one for puts, and I just click on whichever one I need. This is the one for calls. This is the one for puts. Click on whichever one. I also have this. I keep this on my other screen. I have these linked to my chart on my main screen, which I don't want to bring up because it shows you my balances and everything. nobody needs to see that. But I click on these and it brings these up in my other screen. This is my watch list. I try to keep my watch list smaller, and I don't even like it being this big because I do have a full-time day job. I don't have time to sit and watch charts all day, so I just like to click on one. I can click on it, quickly take a look. Squares one I was really interested in because of yesterday's close, yesterday's candle. I really liked it, but I didn't get in. I got SPY instead, so I'm good with that. But this is what I see. This is what I look at. This is how my chart's laid out. If you like it, fine. I used to use a slow stochastics. I just have never changed this 3-minute or 10-minute yet. I mainly use this one. Right now, I'd be leery myself, would be leery about entering calls because the stochastics are high on these two charts and getting high on this chart. I just glance down. If I see these are all three up, I know I'm staying away. Not saying you can't make money off of that. Not saying it won't go up from here, but that's just how I play it. So maybe tomorrow, since I got this microphone working, maybe tomorrow we can do a live real money trade, and I'll get it posted up to YouTube, and you can see. You've already seen my paper trades live. Real money trades the same thing, same way. So again, here's my entries and exits. Right there. So that was it. Not a big win, not a big green day, but it's green. Had a green day yesterday. So just looking for base hits. All right, probably won't have any more up today. Try to do one live tomorrow if we get a nice chart, nice entry, and we'll go from there. Let's see how the daily chart's looking real quick before we leave. And I realize we still have a few hours to go. We don't really have any resistance points coming up on the daily chart. Support level would be this gap here. That would be the nearest support level. So yeah, not showing. There's really no reason why we can't go up and test these highs here. It's probably not going to happen today. Might not happen tomorrow. But there's nothing really stopping us from testing these highs. To the downside, we have some support here. After here, I'd say we're probably looking at maybe a little bit of support here just because of these two candles. But that's not a huge support area. We might get a little bit there. And then down here, we're going to have support with this gap. And here's my lines that I have marking the gaps. Now, if we do end up with a gap here today, tomorrow I will move these up to this level. So my nearest gap is showing. If you go back here to the 5-minute chart, you can see the gap, the lines I have identifying this gap. This would be the top of the gap right here and the bottom of the gap right here. I highly doubt we see those today. We test those, but these are the gaps. This is the nearest gap right now to fill. After today, that's going to move up. It's going to be around this level here. From this close to this open, right around there. So I'll move those tomorrow if we get to that. If that does happen, which it probably will. So, but you see how my charts look, and you hopefully you're getting an idea of what I look for in my trades. Yesterday I probably could have made 40-50% on those if I would have been more patient and a little more aggressive. Same with today. I bought them at $1.25. I think last I looked I think they made it up to $1.70 something, $1.74. You see it right here, $1.74. So I bought them at $1.25. They made it up to $1.74. 174 minus 125 divided by 125, around 30%, 39%. I could have made 39%. Not that I would have, but the potential was there. So hopefully you get an idea of what I look for, and an idea of how I play these and how I lay out my chart. Hope this helps. Any questions, comments, put them in the comments section below, and if you like it, give me a thumbs up. Thanks, and see you tomorrow. Bye.